Labour is not chasing the working class anymore. They are focused on SJW approval and Twitter. Let's be honest, we've all seen it. How Labour keep going after these hot button topics that are on Twitter right now. They're not focusing on their people, they're not focusing on their voter base. And to a huge degree, a lot of people in the mines are ready to tell Labour to go get stuffed, especially with all the plans for the greening that they're doing, which is going to hurt miners and going to hurt mining. On top of that, we have bugger all, bugger all manufacturing left in Australia. So they're not going to be able to get that vote anymore either. So they've gone, oh, well, what's a hot topic? Oh, Twitter, Twitter, let's use Twitter. The problem with Twitter is such a small percentage of people, not just in Australia, but around the world, actually use Twitter. So when they see that 40% of people on Twitter say this, they're not realizing that that's 40% of about 1%. So they're chasing after this tiny minority, and then they make all of these huge promises that they fail to follow through on. You know, people these days, they're worried about rent, they're worried about mortgages, they're worried about grocery prices, they're worried about power bills, they're worried about tax, and they're worried whether their kids can afford to live and afford a house. Labor used to be the party that stood for workers and ordinary families. Now it feels more like they're interested in impressing activists and chasing the green vote. And they chase commentators all day on the inner city people. Yeah, it's not what most of Australia's after. And this is why long term Labor is going to have a huge problem because they ignore everyday Australians. They ignore the truck drivers. They ignore the farmers. They ignore the bloke who works in the office. They ignore the people that work at Coles and Woolies. And you can say, you know, you, they like to call people names. You can call people names. You can say they're misinformed. You can say they're angry because of social media. But maybe they're angry because they're being ignored. Maybe they're angry because promises keep getting broken. Maybe they're angry because every time they raise a real concern, they get lectured instead of listened to. How many times have we seen our local Labor politicians anywhere in Australia, especially the high profile ones, get called out in public and instead of engaging the person and trying to find out why that person's so angry, they run away. They shut it down, or better yet, they call in the police to take away the dangerous person that's threatening them. They're threatened by words. If you are threatened by words, you shouldn't be a politician. Plain and simple. You know, and this is how major parties lose people. It's not overnight, slowly. It's one broken promise at a time, one ignored concern at a time, one arrogant response at a time. Great example, and I'll bring one up for you. It's I think it's hilarious. You watch our lovely Prime Minister during question time. Whenever he's addressing the opposition, instead of him having the backbone to face them, look them in the eye when he says things to them, he turns around to his own pulpit looking for support because he's scared. He is terrified that someone there is sharpening the knife and ready to put it in his back because he knows that their party is one of backstabbing and cowardice. Labor might think that chasing this SJW agenda will win support and applause for them online, which it probably will. But applause online doesn't pay someone's power bill. It doesn't help the mum that needs to put fuel in her car to drop the kids off at school. It doesn't help the father who needs to make the next mortgage payment. It doesn't help the family that needs to put food on the table. They're saying, oh, we've done this great tax break. We're going to give you more money. What was it? It worked out. It was like $4 a week. Yeah, it's not even a cup of coffee anymore, guys, and you're patting yourselves on the back. Cup of coffee, not even a cup of coffee, probably a bottle of water a week. Great job. Absolutely cracking job from you. Now, I reckon, you know, the biggest threat to them isn't just the Liberals, because it's not. It's Pauline Hanson. because she's doing right now what a party leader should. She is out there, she is canvassing voters, she is engaging with people. People call her out, and instead of her running away, unless they get belligerent and, let's be honest, stupid, she sits there and she'll have a discussion with them. She will want to find out why they think what they think and how can she help them. How can she help them either understand her point of view or how can she understand theirs? But you're not going to get that from your local Labor member these days. You know, it's everyday Aussies that have finally had enough. I'm going to leave it here. This is Richo's report, signing out. See you in the next one.